to gain an enhanced realization. There are times when we act at the right moment. Many use that saying, act when the timing is right, and the achievement and accomplishments are upgraded entirely. See, that's fate. And look how many people fear fate, same as irony. That's why they're brothers. This is why this is a family. I'm breaking this down. Okay, here we go with death, because I know this is going to be very controversial. It's very high on all light workers' lists, etc. Religious, etc., etc. Okay, death, in which to deny and even regret becomes death of the self. That's the beginning line. This is what happens when you live in an unnatural, circumstantial system. A sinkhole effect. In other words, death says don't dwell within caverns and corners that only expand the size and depths of the trenches. Alleviate and maintain direction that is logical to expand and progress. That is death's very words, all. In other words, though a situation or issue is difficult to deal with, expand regardless. This act creates immortalism. That's exactly what I wanted to say. This is extremely, this is well up to date, and I wrote this a long time ago. Interesting. Which is to say, I think my ultimate self was definitely writing this at the time. I would know. I have experienced this many times. I know you all have as well in some sort of regard. Which, well, essentially I think you know what that's pertaining to. I'm interrupting the transcript every now and then. But to not dwell, that's what we'll just sum that up. That's what that relates to. Okay. I know you all have as well in some sort of regard. When you still expand despite the difficulties you feel inside, there is a tremendous honor building within, and you're protected with your progressions, not the situation. Irony deals with situations. Irony is a guardian. Which I added that, but believe me, when I say he's a guardian, he is a guardian. Okay, here we go. And then evil, which his greatest saying is live. Evil backwards spells live. Coincidence that evil backwards translates into the most amazing word known in existence? Look how the government uses evil, by the way. Just to reflect on that. And guess who created the deliberate limitations? In a nutshell. And religions will leave that off the side. Based on one planet, not even out of eternity. Etc. on that one. Evil is of the utmost understandings. He usually sits upon his throne with a glass of wine of various choosings. It is incredibly rare when he acts himself. To act. This government will literally mean evil will stand from his throne after I don't even know how long. As you can see, irony and fate are the busiest, but also achieving ultimate honor. Again, interaction level. This is all tying in perfectly. Just taking a breath, because okay. There's a reason why there are bands whom sing about evil, though it's not the traditional truth of evil. There's still a drive it creates for them, a very surreal sense of purpose. I think many bands get this. However, it's the use and abuse of evil in lyrics that creates a misfire perception to most. Because of this unnatural reality, any lyric speaking of hurting others, even to the most intense degrees, it's the band's way of venting. However, if it is for fun, irony usually takes a few orders from evil and carries these orders out, which is to say that there are certain groups that literally try and make music that is just wrong. ICP, Insane Clown Posse, Twisted, don't look these groups up. Their music is literally like, we not only love murder, but it's freaking awesome. That's basically what they're saying. And then you got your other, like, not so much as black metal, but more death metal. Yeah, just bypass that for right now. There's just too much being thrown around in that genre. Okay. Alright. Usually these orders are to hint to these bands to progress in another direction. This at times occurs. If the band doesn't, the music gets even worse, which ICP and Twisted, they are doing that and loving it. I'd say Cannibal Corpse is the worst example, which is one of those death metal groups I talked about. But I could be wrong. Their album covers, I highly doubt, though, can be challenged. Believe me, do not look up this group. Do not look up this group, and do not look at their CD covers. I mean, seriously, just don't do it. So that's the gentleman side of the Dark family. I like how I put that. It felt like a bow. The mistresses of the Dark family are, as you might can guess, lust, vengeance, and retribution. I'd say that vengeance is a very misinterpreted being, of which being a male, which in some regards can make some sense, but if you know the depths and purities of sweet vengeance, it means to rectify and to justify. As I mentioned before my last recording, which is very long, I understand, but what I mentioned in that recording was that she's a warrior, she's a guardian. Um, she will. If she fights a battle for you, she will not only win it, but she will bring you back at times what she deserved to you. That is her honor to you. But that doesn't happen often. Okay, back to the transcript. Think about the damage done unnecessarily to you. And wanting vengeance, you proclaim this in your lyrics, which I see that I was writing to this on my MySpace to bands, but this still applies. Language is a lyric, essentially. Essentially, language becomes lyrics. Your thoughts, and in the name of your sanctuary, wish this. Irony's sister, these two work on both ends. Your acknowledgments are in real time, non-stop. It's not just the eternal spectrum itself, but all beings whom are of the royalties of ascension. Lust, she is perhaps the most misunderstood of the whole family besides evil and death. I think you understand where this is going to go. In a sense. A feeling, I guess. Well, these three share their own unique depths of misunderstandings. But I only share misunderstanding because in this unnatural universe, well, where it pertains to, well, you can see where that's irony for you on that, but also misunderstanding itself. Irony is all over the place, all the time. This reality, this reality, as in like a question, irony, which I just said a moment ago. This is very up to date, very impressed. Lust is the explicitness of what beings can become and should become in times of great need. You are in need, aren't you? This is not to say for your sexuality, but you lust for greatness, lust for improvements. But I think mostly for you all, lust for liberation. That is the point right there. That's the core. That is the core itself right there. This is highly updated right here. That is all the Dark Family's greatest valor, liberation. Retribution, I think you can connect the lines with her. Given that you see this side and can see how this all works, you are of Oh, okay. This is because I was writing to the bands. A lot of bands on my MySpace. Yes, dark music. Call me what you want, but I mean, just apply discernment. If the lyrics are quote bad, write out the polarity of it. You'll find it's quite unique, but that's only through discernment. Okay, so this is to those bands. You are of the Dark Family's descendants, which is interesting. There are certain persons that seemed like they were kind of destined to make that type of music. That's why they're so good at it, and that's why they are so inspired by it. This is at least very possible, yes? Coincidence you found such a voice and message? Question mark on that. This is fate, a destined persona to become and destined